Hello everyone. In the last two videos we discussed about impression and bounce rate as the metrics of digital marketing. In today's video we'll be discussing one more metrics called as session. So what exactly is a session? Session is defined as the time-based user visit on web page and application. Okay, so it is something when a user lands on your web page till the time he exits the web page or application. That is called as a session. Basically a session is for 30 minutes. Remember, the third session is being defined only for 30 minutes. Clear? I'll let you know why I'm giving you this fact that session is only for 30 minutes. If a user is interacting with the website for 30 minutes, that is count as first session, and if the activity still involves beyond 30 minutes and the parameter of the session is not changed from by default to 30 minutes to 1 hour, then we'll still have one session. While if the user's activity increase up to 1 hour, there will be two sessions by a single user. What is the significance of this session when we are describing it and talking about it? The significance is a session is being used for three most important things. First of all is ROI calculations of our campaigns. Okay. Second is when we have to determine the engagements of a user in different web pages over a time frame. Third is to identify which web pages and the contents are actually performing for our business, okay, and which are very helpful for the user. So that's why we actually use this time-based metrics called as session. Remember, now there is a catch when I say remember a session is for 30 minutes. Why did I say that? Because sometimes when we are analyzing the metrics, we actually made a small mistakes. The mistake is there will be 20 users in our reports while the session will be 30. So how did this number came? Because when I'm saying time-based users visit to a landing page, suppose 20 users, 20 sessions. Why it is 30? The reason is we by default define session is only for the time frame of 30 minutes. If a users start interacting more than 30 minutes, it will be counted as second session or the first session. So there will be two sessions by a user. Are there any other case scenarios in which the sessions numbers will be doubles or triples when user is visiting? Yes, there are two more criteria. First of all, if a user is interacting with your website and he suddenly closes the browser, then the first session will end, and simultaneously if he visits again and visit to your website, then there will be two sessions in the single time frame. Second case scenario will be when a user is particularly visiting your website in an interval of time frame. For example, he visited daytime, he visited at night, he visited in the morning time also. So there will be three sessions, because after 30 minutes of inactivity by a user on the website, basically the session is being terminated. Okay. Now how do we use it in campaign management? We'll have this thing to be discussed later, not right now, but yes, sure, we'll discuss this part because it is very lengthy. So we will be having around 4 to 5 lectures only on the part when we are discussing sessions on campaigns and ROI performance, as well as on engagements and events reporting and analysis. I hope that's good, and if you have any questions, do let me know. Reach out to me from my website or through the comment sections, or try to reach out over my email. Okay, thank you and have a great day.